Hello, everybody. Hi, and welcome to whatever this is. um, excuse me. Goodness. Let me just hop on over. The setup. I assemble and disassemble it every time, and so it looks a little different. Today, I'm using one of my favorite decks, so I'm excited about this. The Magical Dimensions Oracle Cards and Activators. If you're someone who resonates to Starseed or a lot of things outside of what may be normally conventional, I guess, um, I haven't checked her out in a while, honestly. But I know when I did watch her, Light Star on YouTube, all one word, Light Star, um, did sound activations for different things, right? And speaking of like sound healing yesterday, sound activations today, sound frequency. Um, yeah. So today, it's interesting that the last two in the Amelie series, because I was just jotting them down as I remembered when I said that. I was like, oh my gosh, I'll do an Amelie spread. It was going to be like all one spread. But then I was like, there's a lot to some of these, so they'll be their own spread. Um, the last two are, I'll say, the least. Let me remember. No, because the first one was kind of like that too. Well, I don't know. The last two are, to me, are the most questionable. The last two are the least organic, and it's just an energy of like it's not necessarily true, but is it bad? It's like, is it bad if it leads to some kind of happiness? I don't know. Maybe it's helping people see what they weren't seeing before. Maybe that's why it feels like a lie. I don't know. But today is the Lost Lover. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get in the book. I wanted to do two different versions because between different systems they're slightly different. I wanted to do two different versions of the Celtic Cross. So I don't need this yet, but I do still want to shuffle it. And I wanted to start with the dark deck and then hit it with the lighter one with the same cards and see what position they fall out in. Why is challenges upright in the middle? Challenges is just randomly upright in the middle of the deck. Also, my overhead light isn't working, so I'm just letting it take a break. I ask a lot. This is interesting. So in the challenges card, it's it's not Neptune, but it feels like a statue of Neptune. Right there. Let's see. Feels like a little statue of Neptune right here. And whenever Russ was talking about Neptune and creating a statue of Neptune in a sacred space, it's giving me energy of that. The owl is also there, which is interesting. But the owl is like one of those magic eye puzzles. Like, it's easier for me to see on the camera where the owl face would be. Maybe it's like right there, but it isn't at the same time. So there's the statue of Neptune, there's the owl, and then I'll say Medea, the witch, challenges. And I'll say it's Medea because there's an energy of like, it's Neptunian. It's an aspect of Neptunian energy where it's a little questionable. It's a little illusionary. Is it real? Is it not? Isn't it illusion? And it's fitting because, again, with these last two, they're the ones that are the least, I guess, grounded in a currently existing reality. And then Majestic Eminence was left on the top of the deck. This is interesting because this is also giving me Medea or Medea. And it's like it's how you use the gift or ability. It's like it can be used to bring like clarity and peace, or it can be used to cause confusion and manipulative ways. Majestic Eminence is Priestess, Divine Feminine, and Worth, number 27. Challenges is blocks, fears, and negativity and betrayal, number 6. And then another number 6, Trust, number 42. Overcoming doubts, insecurities, and patience is the other card. And I think it's that's the factor that sort of determines, like, are we going to be in the truth with this Divine Feminine, Worth, Majestic Eminence, or are we going to be in the challenges with that? Are we going to give into the challenges, or are we going to hold fast to our truth? And depending on what our answer is, that'll probably be how we utilize our gifts. If in more of a self-deceptive way, or in a way that actually brings sort of clarity to situations that may not have a lot. And sometimes clarity is just like, I have to accept that I don't know what the freak is going on. I just gotta keep living. Seven of Pentacles with the Hermit at the cut. Maybe, I don't think it died though, but it was like flickering. It blinked like twice in that one video, and then later in the day it just kept like flickering. And my fan was on, so I was like, maybe since the ceiling fan is jiggling around, like I didn't twist it in all the way. Maybe the connection was a little loose, and that little bit of movement was enough to knock it out of alignment and to make the light. I mean, it started by flickering, and then it just went out completely. Now my phone won't even connect to it. And it's a smart light, you know, so I kind of need my phone. I need my phone to connect to it. Ten of Swords just came out with the Hermit at the bottom of the deck. I feel like this is the nature of your journey, right? I feel like the Ten of Swords Hermit is a hermit in isolation. And because it's a hermit in isolation, it misses the things that can lead it to true solutions, because it's a hermit that's not looking for them. Not really. And the Chariot is here. Or it's too hasty with this Chariot card. Either way, it's like the Hermit isn't looking for what the Hermit needs to see, because this Ten of Swords is here. I don't know if this is a Ten of Swords that we're done with. This Ten of Swords feels like defeated, rather than the Ten of Swords that's ready to, like, again, accept what's happened and move on to something new. It's the one that's been defeated. That's the one that's stuck in challenges. So, Ten of Swords literally challenges, rather than the trust that, you know, if this is falling apart, or if I'm experiencing this hurt or this pain, it's for a reason, and I can grow from it, rather than sort of staying here. It's like Winston Churchill, when you're going through hell, keep going, because why would you stop there? But a lot of us do. And then a lot of us become blind to everything that exists outside of the hell that we choose to stay in. And that goes back to the Queen of Swords yesterday, or the Sovereign of Swords yesterday, and the need for that humility, and to allow the neuroplastic nature of your brain to form new patterns and habits and neuronic connections, or whatever. So I don't want to put these in a box, though. So I'll put these... Oh, but that's 10 cards. I'll put them here. Oof, 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 oof. Oh, I haven't worn my necklace in a few days. Please. I don't want to lose any cards. Not a single card on the floor, please. So... Ooh, cutting to the 6 of Coins and Temperance. Six of Coins and Temperance, it's an energy of like it'll move as fast or as slow as you do. But that takes us back to the Four of Swords yesterday. The High Sage with the Six of Coins. The High Sage with the Six of Coins, I feel like speaks of the nature that I was talking about yesterday. The High Sage is almost telepathic. And so it can only use the experiences, the vocabulary, and the things that you've seen or the things that you think to communicate with you. And if you are rigid and you don't have that humility when it comes to the brain, then it's like your vocabulary never expands to the point where the High Priestess can offer you more assuredly almost, or where the High Priestess can communicate with you in a way that you trust it more. Because again, it's like you're not sort of experiencing anything new or opening up yourself to anything new. It's a limited vocabulary, so things are just inherently lost in translation. I still do want to find two different versions, and I want to go by a book. By a book. I know this book has it in it. Oh, I have it on my phone, right? Maybe. No, I don't think the Pride Tarot has a Celtic cross in it. 1 second, I'm gonna check. I could Google it, but I don't wanna. I wanna use something I already have. I know the Wild Unknown Tarot has a Celtic cross spread in it. All those decks I got up there. The Kawaii Tarot has a Celtic cross, I believe. I just don't want to dig through the box and pull up more cards. I can't remember if the Book of Maps has a Celtic cross in it or not. Why did Joy to the World just pop into my head? Oh, snap! Patrick Valenza is the creator of a number of Oracle decks, Royal Mischief playing cards, and Deviant Moon Tarot deck, and the award-winning Deviant Moon Tarot book published by US Games Systems Inc. Oh, they talk about all of the artists that collaborated, girl. Let me check them out. Let me check them out later. Let me focus right now. Okay. So it's not in the Pride Tarot, and I didn't think it was. I can check the Book of Maps, but I don't think the Celtic Cross is one of the spreads that she listed here. But I feel like it should be, right? That's a pretty popular one. And there are slight differences between them. Nope. Ooh, she got a 9-card general diagnostic spread in here, and I love this. I'm gonna have to come back for this. I never tried that one before. But I don't think she has a Celtic cross in here. No, she's got other spreads in here. Bear with me. Okay, well, let me check and make sure this one has a Celtic cross in it. Even though I'm fairly certain, it doesn't hurt to just be sure. Oh my gosh, LOL. This one doesn't have a Celtic cross in it either. I really thought it did. Okay. It ain't this hard to find a Celtic cross. I know for sure that the Wild Unknown Tarot has it in there. I just didn't want to dig out the book. I just don't want to dig out the book. I'll grab the Tarot Apocalypsis and see if it's in here. Ooh. Tweaka, tweaka. Tarot spreads, page 19. Let's see. Let's see, friends. We got a 3-card spread, another 3-card spread, a 5-card spread, a 4-card spread. What? And that's it? Good. The Celtic crosses sound popular. Oh, ain't nobody got it? Are you serious? I know that there was more than one book that I got that had the Celtic cross spread in it. Okay. I don't feel like pulling the books out, but I have apps on my phone. So I'll check the Kawaii Tarot app and then the Witches Tarot app, because the guidebooks are on there. And let's see. Let's see. Here it is. Celtic Cross. Oh, this is this is real interesting. Okay. This works. One second. Alright. I could have done this before. See, I wanted to use a book. Or at least I'll use the book for the first one. And then the second one, I won't use a book. I can do that, but it's not as conveniently laid out. So I'm going to check the book here. Oh, this got deity associations in it? I guess I shouldn't be surprised. It is the Witch's Tarot. Tarot spreads. Oh, what? Are you serious? She only got 1 card and 3 card. 7 card. Okay, let's continue. That's it. That's it. Oh no, here's some more spreads. Okay. That's it. How y'all not have a... I thought the Celtic cross spread was in every book. Guess not. It's fine. So the Kawaii Tarot has it. So I'll use the Kawaii Tarot first, and then we'll get into whatever else comes out with the light one. And so how I'm going to do it is I'm going to use this deck first, and then the same cards I'm going to pull out of the other one. Maybe I'll shuffle it out, and I'll go through the cards, and I'll pull it in order. And then we'll see where they fall. Now, you're not going to see most of the cards. Well, you'll see most of the cards, but you won't see all of the cards because, ooh, Transformation at the bottom of the deck. What's at the top? Transformation used to come out all the time. I think it's a 42-6. No, 42 is Trust. Oh, 41. Transformation is 41 at the bottom of the deck. Trust is 42 at the top of the deck. Trust in the alchemization. Trust in the alchemization of the alchemizing ability of your soul to handle reality and to still get you where you need to be, which is closer to it, right? So let's go. I'm not going to timestamp this one either, because she read all them letters obsessively. The obsessives would have watched the whole thing. She would have watched this thing 10 times over and then told everybody about it. Look at this video. Look at this video. You gotta watch it. She's like, I ain't got time for this. She was like, oh, it's just a few minutes long, girl. It's only 2.5 hours long. Sit down. You got time. There's the Hermit again. The Hermit with the Ace of Coins. I don't know how I feel about the Hermit with the Ace of Coins. Because Pentacles, coins, they're like, they require, Earth requires other elements to grow. But I guess the Hermit finds those elements internal to it. So that could be nice. That's like the growing of our own sort of wisdom. Alright, I like it. I like it. Alright, I'll give it 3 more. Without any fallouts. 2 more. 1 more. And I'm just going to pull off the top again. Last one. Ooh. Is that 1 card? Work. Then I'll cut it. Okay. 1. I'll turn them face up. So we got the 5 of Cups at the heart, which makes sense. Followed by the 2 of Coins. Now I need to consult the spread. I want to make sure I pull them out in the same order. In the same order. Okay. How do I... Oh, come on. Come on. Okay. 2, 3 is Justice, which could be good. 4 is Strength. Okay, I'm loving this. 5, oops, is the 8 of Cups. I can barely see these cards on the table because it's so dark. It's so dark. 6 is the 3 of Swords. See, I am not a fan that the 3 of Swords came out here. But I'm also not surprised, because again, it's like every time we try to move forward, we're hit by the 3 of Swords. 7 is the Wheel of Fortune. I love that. 8 is the Ruler of Coins. 9 is the Conqueror of Cups. And last but not least is the Ace of Wands. That's the same Ace of Wands that popped out yesterday and that popped out in the reading before. It's the one that, you know, hopefully we allow it to become the Sun instead of 10 of Swords in it. Bottom of the deck is the Ace of Cups. And I also love that the Ace of Cups is here, because the Ace of Cups is what we were avoiding a few spreads back with the Knight of Swords, or the Knight of Cups that was looking away from it, and the Page of Cups came out. There was another cup that we were like turning our head away from in favor of everything that we already knew. Again, that's why the 3 of Swords is here in the near future. Unfortunately though, it doesn't look like... I want to clarify these. What deck do I want to use? Do I want to use a deck? I'll use the Kawaii Tarot, since I'm using the Kawaii Tarot app. That would make sense, right? Unfortunately, it's like, I don't know if this thing will necessarily not happen. It's like your worst fear may come true. But it's like not... It's like it might, but it won't really. Judgment in the Moon. Because again, it goes back to either that challenges or that trust when it comes to magical imminence or majestic imminence. It feels like if your majestic imminence is on point, if your trust is on point, then it's like at the last minute, things will like go a different way. If not, then your worst fear will come true. It's all about your ability to sort of let go of the past, or the version of the past that you use to fuel whatever ways you go about living your life. And if you'll make room for something new. Okay, yeah. All right. Okay, so number one is the significator. It's us and our hope. And the space of us and our hope is the Five of Cups. So I would say this isn't a lot of hope, honestly. It's a sense of hopelessness. But what's strange about this hopelessness though is that like it isn't completely hopeless. Like it feels like there's hope here, but there's just not really anything. There's no work. There's nothing to bring it into existence. It's just hope. It's not faith. It's not something that we're really actively working towards. Because it's like, with the third eye and the tears, we're crying. But crying is important for honoring feelings and for releasing those. It's important for giving us the space that we need as humans to process and sort of interact with our world and reality. But it isn't necessarily always an action, unless the action that you need to take is an action of vulnerability and release. Then yeah, sure, right? But what's interesting about this Five of Cups card is that the third eye is in between the two cups at the top and not the three cups on the bottom. And so it's like, well, at least, we're not necessarily trapped in the past, but it does feel like we're trapped in not being able to. It feels like we feel like we're not going to get what it is that we desire, that we want. The Five of Cups is also, it has a little bit of an energy of the past sort of written into it. And then the Ace of Cups up at the bottom of the deck would take it to a six right there. The Ace of Cups would take that to a six. And it feels like that's why this Three of Swords is here. Because it feels like, again, it's like when we try to make a step forward, maybe we reflect on the good times of the past. But then that only causes more hurt in the now. Because whatever it is that you're envisioning, this is the Medea, this is the, hey Mimi. Alright. This is the Medea, this is that manipulation, but it's self manipulation. It overly romanticizes, overly attaches to the past, and it feels the pain of not having that in the present. But fixating on that pain is what's it's keeping this just not great. The obstacle is the Two of Coins. It feels like the obstacle here is like having. It feels like the obstacle is having hope when this is just hope. It's a hope that it's like we can't put too much into it. We can't invest too much into it with the Two of Coins. Overindulged, there were some volcanic eruptions that already happened. St. Vincent. Yeah, I saw that. And they were evacuating people. So it's like, this is that, like, the hope is there, but the action isn't. And it's like it's like as you're trying to build out a feeling, then you go to like your happy place, but your happy place isn't where you are. And then it's like, well, your happy place reminds you how miserable you are with this Two of Coins. And so it feels like there's a hope that's also attached to like a misery here. Or it's just like not seeing how it can play out. And so there's a hope, but there's no faith or no action behind that hope to give it a foothold in your reality. Quite simply, like you don't believe it'll actually happen. Or your belief in it happening is convoluted with or by some other things that are act like they're non-factors. That's why one of them is a tooth and one of them is a crystal. One of them is like physical and one of them is experience based. The other one is based from that high sage type of energy, right? Anything can happen in life. That's a fact. And so if life is a thing where anything could literally happen, significantly good, significantly bad, and anywhere in between, then the past doesn't really matter. Right? There are people who have failed like 20, 30, 40 times to do something, but then one time they succeed. And if they would have given in to the habit of the pattern of their failure, they would have quit before they hit the success. And it's same too. It's like, if you're playing roulette or if you're gambling and you're on a win, 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 it may be better to cut your losses before you lose it all. And I don't know if that's necessarily greed, but I also don't feel like that's entirely too relevant. So next is the top of your mind, and the top of your mind is justice. The top of your mind is what you deserve, and this third eye is looking up at justice, crying tears on strength. What's interesting here in this configuration, and with this Two of Pentacles sitting at the crossroad, it feels like you can't get justice and be strong at the same time with the way you're going about it. It feels like you giving all of your power away to some force external to yourself to resolve an issue, rather than you coming into the energy that you need to come into to get that resolution for yourself. And because that takes me back to, I don't remember which one it was. I think it was the Ghost of the Photo Booth, I think. But it was the one where it's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was the Ghost of the Photo. No. It was the one where I had 4 cards. It's the one where I had 4 cards. Yeah, the Ghost of the Photo Booth. It was an energy of like us projecting things onto other things, trying to get something out of them that we can't. It's like we're putting our hope in something or someone else to fix or heal or grow whatever needs to be fixed or healed or grown. But that's work that we have to do for ourselves. That's why that pulls away from our strength rather than it aligning our strength. But the top of your mind is like, I'm a good person. I don't deserve this. Why is this happening to me? And it's like things happen to people all the time that they don't necessarily deserve. Necessarily. I mean, the Justice card would imply that it is something that is deserved. But with the High Sage balancing the scales here, I feel like it's not a question of whether it's deserved or not. It's a question of what are you going to do moving forward to get things that you do want, or to make yourself more deserving of what you want. But it isn't necessarily about... It feels like you're making yourself more appealing to greater energies. Right? Like, let's say that if you are a person who is selfless and caring, but you also have healthy boundaries, so you don't burn yourself out caring for other people, or you don't like enable people essentially, and you're invested in your community, that's the energy you carry. And let's say that for some reason things are queued up for a shift, right? Now the energies of abundance and the energies of opportunity are going to find you really, really appealing, because you have the capacity to love yourself enough to grow and heal and expand yourself, but also you're giving enough to put that energy out. It basically makes you a sort of a beacon. And so now those energies find you really appealing because, I feel like the energies and frequencies of abundance and stuff like that, they like to be and do what they are, right? If they didn't, they wouldn't be that energetically. But also with the overarching, like, there's an energy of change, you are someone who could use those frequencies to produce a change. So it makes you really, really enticing and appealing. Energetically, for what's happening, or for what's coming. Not what's already happened, but for what's on the horizon. Now, the subconscious thoughts are strength. This is interesting because, again, with this in particular, it doesn't necessarily feel like it's a strength that is based in you rising to the occasion. It's not a strength that feels like it's based in you giving yourself whatever closure or whatever healing or whatever peace you need. It doesn't feel like it's based in you getting over it, honestly. And I know like vindication and retribution sort of came out a little bit yesterday. Right. It's like, oh, it's like when you get like a revenge body, or like when you get a better job to make somebody else mad. Like if you get fired and like, I'm going to prove to my boss who they let go of, or I'm going to prove to my ex what they let go. But then in reality, it's like what you're doing is you're massively investing in yourself. You're massively doing things that you probably weren't doing before. And so if you weren't who you are becoming then technically it's like they didn't lose out on anything. Because without that to catalyze and to push you into getting your body and your job and whatever, you never would have done it. So they never would have gotten that person anyway. It's not about them, it's about you. And that's what this justice is up here for. I feel like it's us holding people accountable for things that they did do, yeah, sure. But we have the opportunity to better ourselves because of it. And to align more to what we want and to be less open to what we don't want. To develop our discernment and to establish healthier boundaries and to give love to ourselves instead of expecting it from everyone else or needing it from other people, right? But again, with the Five of Cups and the Two of Pentacles in the heart of this, I don't know. So the past here is the Eight of Cups. It feels like, because like there's a third eye and there's some clarity up there. So this is an interesting Eight of Cups. It's also interesting because it's almost sitting in the element of fire rather than the element of water. And with the Three of Swords being on the other side, with this justice and this strength that are at odds with each other because we're trying to balance them with the Two of Pentacles instead of finding the energies where they sort of are more cooperative. And again, like this is major arcana justice. This isn't like the Queen of Swords or maybe like the Two of Swords. Like this isn't pre-justice or minor justice. This is major arcana justice. This is spirit like this happened to you so that you would be in a position to do this. For you to be in a position to be this strong. Or for you to realize how strong you are and to get even stronger. But from our perspective, it almost reads as a bit of entitlement, maybe, that we expect to go through life without any difficulty or hardship at all. And maybe you'll reach the point where, you experience significantly less difficulty and hardship. Maybe you experience significantly less hardship, maybe difficulty, but I feel like challenge is something that we're always going to experience because we're always growing. And it's healthy for us to continue growing, right? But we don't have to be like defeated by challenges, and we don't have to be afraid of challenges, and we don't have to run from facing a challenge for so long that it turns into a tower moment 10 times the magnitude over. And I'm actually liking this. I'm liking this because of everything over here. Because of everything over here, I feel like we're actually going to, like, this is going through the storm. Or at least it's that potential. That's what I'm feeling now, though. I want some clarifiers, please. Was that the Five of Coins? Looks like it. Ooh. Yeah, it's the Five of Coins. Let's read this. I want to read this journey. Cards only come out when I don't want them to. Did you notice that yesterday? Or when I give them a deadline. I'm going to give this 3 more shuffles. Now all of a sudden everything wants to come out. Oh, there's that Queen of Wands. There's that Queen of Wands. The Moon and the Four of Swords. I think something flipped over. Yeah, there's the Devil. I feel like the Devil is back here with the Queen of Wands. So the Five of Pentacles, it's us being in a state of being basically out in the cold, all alone. It's a cold world and ain't no blankie type of energy. And because of that, with the Devil and the Queen of Wands, we come into our own fire. We warm ourselves up in ways that maybe we use some things as kindling that we shouldn't. It reminds me of this one TV show. It was an animated TV show where there's a beast of the woods, and then there's the woodsman with the lantern, and he feeds the wood, or he fuels the lantern with the wood. But then by the end of the series, you find out that the wood it's lost souls. So he's feeding lost souls to keep the soul of this evil alive. And then at the end, there is a question of like he believes, he's told that the lantern keeps his daughter alive. That's why he does this, right? And so, because of that lie, even if he were ever to discover the truth that he's feeding lost souls to the lantern, it's like, well, I love my daughter, and this is a sacrifice that I'm willing to make. I'm willing to sacrifice the lives of people that I don't know to save or to further or to better the life of the person that I do. I'm willing to do that. But after you realize that what you're actually doing is keeping the evil alive, it's like, oh yeah, no, bye. And then you blow it out yourself, right? You don't even let it go like naturally. That's that, like, and it's, Medea is tragic. Her story is tragic because I feel like she was just trying to get home. She had a gift and a power that was feared. She was used the world over, and she was just trying to get home. She did what she had to do. Right? I ain't justifying her excusing. I don't have to justify her excuse, but she did what she had to do, and she was taken advantage of by people. And it feels like that energy. Right? You're convinced that you have to do or be a certain thing in order to be safe or to progress forward in life. I mean, this energy's been coming out since the beginning, but it's like you're not a Queen of Wands, you're a Queen of Cups. Or you're more than just the Queen of Wands, you also have a cup, and as long as you continue to neglect the cups, you're going to continue to sort of be out of balance. But then that leads us to the Moon and the Four of Swords. This is a 22 energy. I don't know. It almost carries an energy of desensitization. Right? When you're the Devil and the Queen of Wands, it's like, you know, I do what I gotta do to make ends meet, and I don't care who I hurt or take advantage of. The Sun. Wait. How are we gonna end this? Oh, wow. Okay. Let's see. Does this come out back here? It's the Nine of Swords in reverse. But because it's the Nine of Swords in reverse, it's the Six of Swords. Okay, this is the Two of Pentacles. This is this balance. So we're sitting currently with the Moon and the Four of Swords. And that's feeling like that Five of Cups energy. It's feeling like that, like, I know that there's a way out of it. Like, I can feel that there's a way out of this. But it's not made itself extremely apparent. I feel like it requires work. I feel like it requires us to do something. And with the Four of Swords, we're licking our wounds, right? Maybe we're fresh out of the 3. Or maybe we're so afraid of the Five of Swords that we dance between the 3 and the 4. But you got to go through the Five of Swords if you want the Six of Swords, right? But this Six of Swords is actually the 9. So it's like there's so much anxiety and fear around actually moving out of your discomfort zone that just so happens to be your comfort zone, that you don't do it. And it almost feels like the longer you're stuck in this darkness, the brighter this light becomes. But I don't know if that subsequently triggers feelings of like unworthiness. I feel like that's that Three of Swords where there was the something, what was it? Because it was like as soon as you try to progress outside of that, oh, it was the Ace of Cups that turned that 5 into a 6. But it's like it hurts. If your eyes aren't adjusted to the light, then it hurts, right? It's like when you're in a dark room watching a movie and then someone cuts on the lights really quick. You're like, oh my gosh. And so what's interesting is I feel like that's that Akasunade energy. That's that new dawn energy. But because it hurts, it makes you think it's a dark night. When in reality it's not. But you're not going to get to this new dawn until you move out of the darkness. But you found so much strength and composure in the darkness. Or at least it puts you in a position where you feel like you're in control. You feel like you have some kind of power in your life. But again, it's like you're not even using that power in any way that really fulfills or satisfies you or makes you happy or invites in abundance, like no strings attached abundance, like abundance that isn't linked or related to any shady dealings. And it's like with the moon and this Four of Swords, what's happening is you're building a foundation in this land in between. It's like stuck in the 4D between the 3 and the 5. Stuck on the bridge. That, what, Rainbow Bridge, Heimdall. But if he removed, like if the bridge falls, then you go plunging into the water, right? It feels like a Rainbow Road in Mario Kart. And how easy it is at some points in those maps to just like fly right off the course. But I don't know if there's a Lakitu in real life that's going to catch you. Well, spirit is there, but depending on this justice strength cycle, you may be, like I said, like you're compounding towers to the point where they increase in magnitude every time you avoid them. It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and so it's going to fall even harder. And there's going to be a point where, I don't want to say you're going to exhaust your grace, but there's going to be a point where it's important for you to move on. And if letting you fall and scrape your knee is the only way that you're going to learn to whatever you need to learn, then you may end up with, a busted knee, scraped legs and arms. But it was only supposed to be a knee. But you have free will and you have choice. And your free will and choice can make things better or worse for you, depending on what you choose. I feel like this is it, honestly. But let's see if I can get one more. Let me see if I can get one more, please. I'll give it 3 more. If nothing comes out, I'll move on. 2 more. 1 more. Last one. We'll look at them. The Fool and the Queen of Cups! Oh! That's that brand new beginning. And see, that's what I'm telling you. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. And I love that at every junction, there's a major. The Devil with the Queen of Wands. The Moon with the Four of Swords. The Fool with the Queen of Cups. Boom. Like, it's the Fool and the Queen of Cups. Like, that's what I've been talking about this whole series. And bottom of the deck is the Emperor. This is you taking charge in your own life. This is you standing in your power. This is the point that you're supposed to reach with this justice and strength cycle, where things sort of end up working out because it puts you in your power rather than you giving your power to this or giving your power to that or whoever to do whatever. And so on this other side, the future was the Three of Swords. Now that future being the Three of Swords, I feel like honestly that's us facing it. I don't know if it's going to be as bad as we think it is. I honestly, if you've done the work, if you've healed, it's not going to be as bad as you think it is. And even if it is as bad as you think it is, you'll heal from it. You'll be okay. It may take some time. You may cry, you may grieve for a little bit, but you'll eventually be okay, and then you'll move on to what is yours. What is more abundant and fulfilling, and it just feels lighter. It feels like things that you don't have to try so hard to be sort of happy in, or you don't have to fight so hard just to have a good day. Every day can be a good day. Even if it's not a great day by the old standards, it can still be a good day. But that's what came out yesterday, right? The Three of Spades into the Three of Clubs. It's the next phase, it's the next step. It's your journey beyond that Three of Swords prison that you've lived in. It's the caged bird. And I know why the caged bird sings. That used to be me, high key. Like, whenever I was, like, super stressed or down, sometimes I would just start, like, singing. Singing and dancing in my room. I ain't care who heard me. I don't know why necessarily, but I know why the caged bird sings. Okay. So the advice here is the Wheel of Fortune. The advice here is to be open to experiencing new things in life. The advice here is that mental humility that the Queen of Swords needs to have. The advice here is to be a fool and be your Queen of Cups self, rather than being stuck in the stagnancy and the darkness and the mistrust and the depression and the everything else that is the devil that your Queen of Wands energy is based in. With the Nine of Swords in reverse, that looks like a 6, it's like living a waking nightmare. Or it's like when your nightmares bleed out into your real life. And if your nightmares are becoming real, then it's definitely time for you to do whatever you need to do to claim this sun energy. Oops. And like with this Wheel of Fortune though, again, like the barbed wire on this, like it's not going to be easy. Spirit knows that it's not going to be easy. But just because it's not easy doesn't mean it's not worth doing. And just because it's not easy doesn't mean that it's not for you to do. And it's like, I feel like sometimes we have to like realize and recognize how long we were in the places and spaces that we were in, and how deeply it affected us. And we can't necessarily expect anything immediate. And I feel like, again, with that Five of Cups, it's the expectancy of something immediate that causes us to not fully invest in our healing, or not to invest to the point where we get like a real healing. Because then the Two of Coins comes in, and it's like, is it worth it? Like, what I'm doing this, I'm believing whatever, or I'm saying these affirmations, and I'm doing this, and nothing's working. I'm still blah blah blah. But again, that goes back to, was it the obsessives or the one before that? When it was the Ace of Wands was here, and there's the Ace of Wands right there. It was the Four of Cups with the Six of Pentacles. You're not fully giving to anything, and so you're not going to fully get anything. And the divine is trying to illuminate things to you. The divine is trying to provide you these ways out, but you're 10 of Swordsing them before you even put any real effort in with the Knight of Coins. And then that went back to the first spread, the Traveling Gnome, where it was the Nine of Coins on one side and the Knight of Cups on the other side, but the Knight of Cups was tempted by the devil. That's that need for immediate satisfaction, that instant gratification. And lower energies will provide it to you, but it doesn't provide it in any way that's sustainable, and it also comes at a higher cost, a really high cost. The divine puts you in a place to sort of do it yourself, or do it for yourself. And a lot of us don't want to invest the time and energy and effort that it takes to do that, and so we take it, or we just live lives of misery. So the advice is the Wheel of Fortune. No matter how difficult things get, keep moving forward. The surrounding is the Conqueror of Cups. I just talked about the Knight of Cups. No, 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 no. The surroundings is the ruler of coins. Okay, alright, alright, alright. The Conqueror of Cups is the hopes and fears. What you want and fear. The surroundings is the ruler of coins. I feel like the surroundings being the ruler of coins, it goes back to that nature, because we saw the ruler of coins yesterday. It goes back to that energy of like, whatever your experience is, it's a result of everything that you put into it. It's a result of the air, your thoughts, your mind, the water, your emotional state, and the fire, your desires. And if those don't cooperate in proper balance, then you're not going to get a lot of growth, or your crop, your yield isn't going to be as great as it could be. It's like the ruler of coins is almost coming in as this energy of like, we're giving you exactly what you're putting in for, and so if you don't like it, change up your order. The hopes and fears is the Conqueror of Cups. With the hopes and fears being the Conqueror of Cups, again with this like Five of Cups over here, you, and then the Ace of Cups at the bottom, it feels like there are things that like emotionally you want. There are levels of connection that you desire in a very like vulnerable, authentic, and genuine way. But your heart is so barbed because of everything that's happened to you that not only are you resistant to being that vulnerable, but it's like you're also afraid of it. And I feel like there's a saying that's trying to come to my head right now, but it's not an actual saying. But it's like, what is feared can't be freely accepted, or something like that. And then the outcome, if you continue, is the Ace of Wands. I feel like either way, that's what it it honestly, this Ace of Wands here, it makes this feel either really good or like very tortuous. Because it's like either way, the divine is going to keep showing you and keep showing you and keep showing you what you could have. And you might want it more and more and more, and push yourself further and further into the darkness to avoid it. But you're not going to be able to unsee it. You're not going to be able to unthink about it. It feels like whatever this Ace of Wands is, it's going to reach the point where it tortures you. Because you're going to know that it could have been yours had you done whatever you needed to do. And I don't like saying that. And I remember it was like last February. Maybe it was the second decan of Pisces. I don't remember. But there was like a Libra and Six of Pentacles energy. And it was like, or it was last year, like between February and April, I believe. It was this energy, and even later into last year, like you're manifesting something, and there's something good, like you're going to get an opportunity. But I hope that you take it, because if you don't, or if it doesn't work out, you're going to know that you're the reason why it didn't. No ifs, ands, buts, or questions. You're going to know that you are the reason why this didn't happen, and it would have made you very happy, very abundant, very prosperous, very fulfilled. And in that way, it feels like it's torture for someone who would never take it. Because then they numb themselves even more. And I love this. I love that we have the Ace of Cups and the Ace of Wands here. Because that's temperance. And the temperance card in this deck, there's a fire that's coming out of a cup. And that temperance, that alchemization, that healing, that balance, that's alchemizing this Queen of Cups and this Queen of Wands. And I think I said that yesterday when the Queen of Wands came out, when the Sovereign of Wands came out. It's, you have more than just the element of fire at your disposal. And maybe that's why it's like you're not experiencing the growth in the realm of Pentacles, health, family, abundance. Because you're putting too much fire in it. You're roasting the seeds. You're evaporating all of the water before it can work its way into the ground. And not every plant can handle such a, I would say, tropical climate. It reminds me of Little Nicky when he's like, I'm from the South, the deep South. And Little Nicky is from hell. It's the balancing of these energies. Bottom of the deck is the Ten of Pentacles. Under the Ace of Cups is the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man, it's an energy of stagnancy and delay, but the Hanged Man is feeling like divine timing. It feels like the seed that's waiting for the perfect conditions to bloom. The Hanged Man feels like it's ahead of its time, and so it's waiting for the times to catch up, unfortunately. But the time is like, anytime you decide the time is right, that'll be the time. But you have to decide that the time is right with more than just your brain, right? It's more than just air. It's also water and fire that lead to earth, or that feed the earth, so that the earth can become all of what it needs to be, or what it can be, for the earth to reach its higher states of abundance or alignment. So let's get one of these. Oh, that was quick. Who is this? Oh, it's Harmonic Resolution. Harmonic Resolution, bottom of the deck is Manifestation. We got 19 and 29. This is negativity, anger, and transmutation. Transmutation. This is anger, negativity, and transmutation. Which is perfect. Because again, we're transmuting that stuff. That's what this is for. I'm going to read it out of the book as well. 19. Oh, there's 22. Ice Queen. I love Ice Queen in this deck. She's like one of my favorite cards. I never get her for myself, though. I rarely see her in general. So, Harmonic Resolution, Negativity, Anger, and Transmutation. Image connected with the lavender red color ray. Ooh, look at these chains. Hold up. I didn't even look at this card. There's an energy of prophecy at the bottom of the deck. Something written in a lost language. There's an energy of bondage at the top with these chains. And then it's all swirling in the middle. See, those are the chains up there. And then there's the writing. That lost writing that speaks of something that will be. But then there's the swirling of the potential in the middle. It's like they're canceling each other out rather than one. It's like the chains and the bondage is what leads to you getting the strength to be whoever you are prophesied to be. And it's like without this bondage, you would have never needed to be this strong in the first place. There wouldn't have been a prophecy in the first place because it would have never been necessary. But that's something that you also choose. You choose it to stand and fight, or you choose to, not. Harmonic Resolution resonates to the thickness and heaviness of the lower dimensions. This can cause disturbance and scattering of energies and over-identification with emotions of frustration, anger, isolation, and confusion, which disrupts the auric field. Divine light codes transmute these emotions, diffusing and disarming lower emotional states, and return the auric field to harmony, peace, and serenity. You need to acknowledge some of the lower level emotions, hidden negativity, frustration, and confusion that may be a factor right now. Release any unfocused and distracting mental chatter. Breathe deeply and diffuse excessive mental and emotional energies to regain your balance. You may also have attracted people in your life who are operating from lower vibrations, and you need to disconnect from this. Rhodonite and shungite are the companion crystals, and Palo Santo is the companion essential oil. When you get a reading and you're like, what? Okay, I don't really do that, but that's cool. Maybe I'll look into it. And then you don't look into it, and then Palo Santo pops up at the bottom. And you're like, oh, okay. But yeah, I kind of knew this. All right, work. Um, but yeah, I'm sorry. That was just a little moment for me. But maybe y'all got some synchronicity in that too. I also have a shungite. I don't have many crystals. The only ones I bought a shungite, a black tourmaline, a little obsidian, and a selenite ball. And then I was gifted a set corresponding to like the chakras and stuff. So I have shungite. I heard somebody talking about shungite, and I guess I'll talk about it. Unite the Collective. Unite the Collective on YouTube is actually where I saw Light Star, and then I checked out her channel, and she said she had a deck, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to get it. I don't even know if I watched a full video before I ordered this deck, but it's fine. And I got Benabel Wynn. She was on here. I'm sure she still is. I got her deck too. I missed the first print. I got the second print. That one is the Spirit Keeper's Tarot, and I'm getting SK. I'm getting like SKT3. I'm getting the third edition as well, and the third edition is gonna be a lot more. It feels like people centric, and so I'm gonna love using the Vitruvian edition as like the more higher spiritual, less known, more ambiguous influence, and SK3 as the like how we take it or our interpretation of it. I'm gonna love doing that. I already know it. I want it. I want it. Okay. I already shuffled these, so I'm gonna take them as is, and I'm gonna go from 1 to 3. So the Sovereign of Coins is our first card out. Can you see that? You cannot. I'm just flipping off the top. Oh, girl. Alright. I'm gonna have to do this where I can see, though. 7 of Coins. 6 of Cups. 9 of Wands. Alright, I'm just gonna do this off to the side, because I need to be able to see these. The Ace of Cups just came out, but it was the bottom of the deck. Am I gonna take it? No. But I will put it on the table. So this is the first card that we see. The first card that we see here out of the rearranged sort of cycle, after looking at everything, but maybe from a bit of a different perspective, the Ace of Cups, which is what was on the underlying, comes out first. So that's interesting. Again, I feel like it's about forming and establishing that connection and not being so afraid of it. Girl. Oh no, the 7 of Wands. I must have already bought that up. Or was the 7 of Wands face up? What was the 7 of Wands face up? Conqueror of Coins. Ruler of Wands. 2 of Swords. 10 of Swords. 5 of Swords. Conqueror of Swords. 4 of Swords. 8 of Cups. So 8 of Cups is us. The Hermit. The 8 of Wands, 2 of Cups, Justice. 8 of Cups blocked by Justice. That's what you think you deserve. Chariot, Ace of Coins, 6 of Wands, 4 of Coins, the Magi, 3 of Swords is the top, I believe. Let me make sure. Oh wait, why am I going this way when I can just go this way? Yeah, I believe so. I believe so. Yeah, it is. Okay. 5 of Cups is the bottom. Man. Stuck between the 3 and the 5 of Cups. Or the 3 of Swords and the 5 of Cups. But now the 3 of Swords isn't in the future, so maybe it's a good thing. We'll see. We'll keep going. The Wheel of Fortune is the past. Ace of Swords, 3 of Coins, Sovereign of Wands, Seeker of Wands, Seeker of Cups, Temperance. Here in this Temperance card, you can see that it's the Ace. Oops, hold up, wait. I need to bring up the live footage, so I don't know that my video ain't paused. That's the Ace of Cups and the Ace of Wands in the same position. 9 of Coins, 8 of Coins, 3 of Cups, 10 of Cups, the Tower, the Seeker of Coins, the Anchor, Strength. So strength is going to be the future. Love that. I'm a fan of that. The moon, the six of coins, the star, the fool, the three of wands, the title card. I'm actually going to leave it. Since I hit the title card, I'm going to stop here. After the title card is the two of wands, which is interesting because it's like we're going, in some ways we're going back to the beginning. Again, with strength being in the future and the wheel of fortune being in the past, we're moving forward. With the title card again, we don't know what lies beyond the darkness that we've experienced. Bottom of the deck is the ruler of cups. It was the ace of cups before. Now it's the ruler. Now it's the ruler. I like that energy. I love that energy. Because our fear, our hope and fear was the conqueror of cups. But by gaining the strength to face all of this, we become the ruler. We become the ruler. And rulers measure things, right? It allows us to be much more accurate and precise. And it allows us to, even if we don't have all of the pieces, if we measure things out, we know that they'll fit. And we have that ability. We have the technology and the capability. It just requires more effort up front to ensure that it'll all go smoothly. But again, like, life always happens. Something could be, it can run big, it can run small, right? Expectation versus reality. But there is a little bit, it's not to be overly planned, but there are some things that you can do. There's an assuredness that is available to you. Ruler of cups, probably through trust, probably through faith. It's the evolution of hope in this situation. And so we have, let me go big. Let me go back. You and your hope, it's the Eight of Cups. It's like you hope to actually, like, be free of this. You hope to actually experience something new. And I think that's another thing. Like, if you didn't hope for that, then the Ace of Wands wouldn't hurt as much as it does. But it's blocked by justice. I feel like with it being blocked by justice, it's like there are things that you are doing. It's either things that you're doing or things that you're holding on to that don't serve your new timeline. And again, were you justified in thinking and feeling what you thought and felt in the past before? Yes. Are you still justified in it now? Yes. But what do you want more? Do you want to be right, or do you want to be happy, fulfilled, and abundant? Because this is major arcana justice. This isn't minor arcana justice. This isn't pre-justice. This is justice on a cosmic scale to get you to be the person that you want to be and that you need to be. To get you to have the life that you want and that maybe you need. Right? The life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness are all like needs or whatever. So hey. Or at least the freedom to be able to pursue your happiness, but you're keeping yourself from that. And so now the top of your mind is the Three of Swords. The top of your mind is the pain, whereas it was justice before. And I feel like that clarifies what I was saying about that need for vindication and retribution. But it's not about that. They're the trials of the hero, just like harmonic resolution. If you didn't experience the difficulty, you would have no reason to be as strong as you need to be for yourself and for those who love you and who will come to depend and rely on you. And we all have our own work to do, yeah. None of us are responsible for anyone else. But there are some people that we can be sort of available to and for, I guess, in ways that don't overstep any boundaries. And that could be boundaries to their own growth, because it's like sometimes if you do too much for people, it becomes an energy of enabling to the point where they never do for themselves. So below you is the Five of Cups. And I actually like this position. I like the Five of Cups here with the Three of Swords above. because I feel like that's what's going to be what really pushes you to move forward. The Five of Cups, it can be an energy of like being sick and tired, or reaching the point where you're sick and tired of being sick and tired. And you're sick and tired of this Three of Swords. Maybe sick and tired enough to begin to actually do something to eliminate that influence, or to lessen that influence. In the past is the Wheel of Fortune. I feel like the past being the Wheel of Fortune, it speaks of these opportunities. It's almost like a Four of Cups energy. It speaks of these opportunities that the divine was sort of putting on your path to grow and heal and elevate and evolve and change and to come into better cycles. But with all of the resistance in the past, it wasn't like you weren't in a position to accept it. With the Ouroboros, especially in this deck, gives me an energy of like having your ego under control, right? Having your ego under control in this more specific case and situation is like not allowing your fear and your anxiety and your worry of repeating not great things from the past to stop you from moving forward into your tomorrow. Also, with this Ouroboros, it's like it's time to drop some of these resistances. It's time to let some things go. And honestly, it's like a Ragnarok-y tower type of energy. It's Ragnarok because, Jormungandr is releasing its tail. But that gives way for a whole new cycle to come in. It's like Jormungandr was big enough that there was a lot of like the trees and the plants could spread out their roots, but Jormungandr also still kept it contained, and it's time to grow beyond the container. Insert tower energy from yesterday. Ragnarok tower. Okay, got it. The future is strength. So what is like subconsciously motivating you is what you're going to achieve and attain in the future. That's why justice is up here. That's why the energy of justice is here. You'll realize the justice in it when you become this. Because you'll see how necessary it all was to get you to be the exact version of you that you will become. And so, final card from here. And I'll get final messages from all these since it's the last video in the series. I'm excited when I get to like actually finish these. I was at my buddy's place and I decided not to do the Jupiter readings. Partially because I didn't have the setup. Partially because that was an old energy. I mean, I'm not going to call this energy old because I feel like a lot of people are here now. Who that? What's all this? What's all this? Who this? I'm gonna jump her, but oh, that's two of them. Okay, I don't know them. I want someone to hit the table or flip over. You gotta hit the table or you gotta flip over. Oh wait, actually I'm not gonna. Okay, well I am. Come out in pairs. Ooh, I think that's the third eye portal with exploration. I love that energy. Bottom of the deck is, oh my gosh, y'all remember when I said the Ice Queen, but she like hardly ever comes out for me? She coming out for y'all. I'm just playing. She's coming out for all of us, but mostly y'all. Ice Queen. Ice Queen. Bottom of the deck. I love the Ice Queen, and her energy is honestly all over this. That's that temperance. That's the balance between the Queen of Wands linked to the Devil and the Queen of Cups linked to the Fool. It's Ice Queen. I'm going to read Ice Queen. Oh my gosh. I'll put the rest of these cards back. It's only about the Ice Queen. The Ice Queen is the only one that matters. I'm just playing. But since the title card came out, like everything over here in a higher way, it's not that it's hidden, it's that it doesn't matter. Because no matter what comes in the future, you're going to have the strength to face it. So you don't need to see in the dark anymore. This is the Hermit that can blow out its lantern. Because it's guided by its heart. And your heart, the heart this strong will never lead you astray. And getting a heart this strong, it'll lead you through some darknesses, but eventually you'll discover the strength that lies inside. Ice Queen is introspection, self-analysis, and fortitude. This image is connected with the silver-white color ray. I've never noticed the little white... How have I never noticed the white horse in the Ice Queen? I've never noticed this white horse. But little white pony just chilling. Little white pony just chilling there. And we got the dark pony, the dark horse yesterday. Crown portal is under the Ice Queen. It's funny because when I opened up the book, I opened it up to number 8, the Crown Portal. Crown Portal is under Ice Queen. I love it. I love it. But that, in her, it's like sacral. It's sacrally solar plexusy, more sacrally. Okay. So, Ice Queen resonates to personal power and liberation from the shadow self. This revealing ray ignites strength and fortitude. There's the strength. Ignites strength and fortitude. Ace of Wands, ignition. This the remix to ignition. I'm sorry. I'm excited, okay? Calling forth a presence from the depths of the soul to penetrate through the most difficult of challenges and trials. Fusing a bridge between the powers of nature, soul light power, and the darkness that is a part of the light itself. A new butterfly is born as it sheds its old self and steps into the newness and light of its own being. Go into a space of deep inner reflection, for it is a time of going within, and is required in order to face the shadow self. Perhaps you need to retreat and do some self-growth exploration. If you feel lost or confused about your situation, just go within. It takes strength and courage to reveal the truth, and sometimes the shadows attempt to hide light from you. Honor both the light and the dark, but choose light. Companion crystals are snow quartz and phantom quartz, with wintergreen being the companion essential oil here. Like I said, I love Ice Queen energy. Ice Queen energy is all over this. And it feels like Ice Queen, because she's done it within herself, she's able to also help and guide and assist other people as they do it. It puts her in a position to encourage more light. Hold up. Hold up, was that recorded? What happened? I don't know if y'all missed that or not. If y'all did, then it wasn't meant to be. If you didn't, then it was. Ice Queen has gone through it herself to the point that she can guide others through their process. And again, that energy came out earlier. You can't necessarily do it for other people, but you can be there to encourage them in some way. Right? So we got the third eye portal in exploration. I love the third eye portal in exploration because even yesterday, there's the truth beyond the truth. This is seeing more than what you can currently see. This is also expanding your vocabulary. And because you expand your vocabulary, it's like the high priestess can show you more and more and more and more. And eventually, it's like you'll have enough of a foundation of this new language that even if you encounter words that you don't know, you'll be able to use context clues to still figure it out. And again, it's from that strength that you're going to embody in the future. I love this. I love this. We got inspirational creation in the root portal, 33 and 24. Both of them are 6s. The root portal is vitality, stability, and survival. Fearful inspirational creation is alchemy, the elements, and innovation. Emphasis on alchemy, emphasis on the elements, emphasis on innovation. That's a very Aquarian energy. But before we come into the true brilliance of this Aquarian energy, there are still things in the world today that need to be resolved and that need to be worked out. This is also you going to the very heart of some of these issues. With this Ice Queen going to the heart of the darkness and beginning to transmute and alchemize that. Harmonic resolution, it was anger and negativity, but it's also transmutation. I love this. I love this. I'm a fan of this. It started out like, I don't know, but I got the feeling that for those who choose it, more so than for those who it resonates with, for those who choose it, there's a strength beyond anything that you could ever imagine here. And it leads to the fulfillment of more than your wildest dreams. Puts you in positions that maybe you never would have thought you'd be in. And it may require strength from you every step of the way. Not every step, because it'll be easier some days. But on the more difficult days, because you had this experience, you're going to have the strength to overcome that too. I feel like the hardest things that you will have to do, you are either doing now or you've already done. And that's, you know, I think I've talked about with the Devil and the Queen of Wands, there are certain experiences that we use for strength. But coming into the Fool and the Queen of Cups, it's important for us to let that go. I think that's coming out with the Root here as well. There are certain negative experiences that we hold on to as like, this will never happen again, or I'll never allow this to happen again, or like, you know, please God, don't let this happen again. But it's time to let those go. That fear is keeping you stuck. Alrighty, so let's get these final messages. I actually do want to timestamp the final messages part. I really liked Ice Queen. I'm probably going to timestamp Ice Queen, honestly, because I love Ice Queen. I love Ice Queen. I love Ice Queen. I'll say 126. Whoo! I'm kind of glad I did this, because hopefully, you know, we can move on to some better, bigger, brighter energies. But I guess those are still coming into fruition. Honestly, it feels like with the best stuff, we're in a space of creating it. And before we can create it personally, we need to be in a position to it's like you gotta learn the techniques and stuff, right, before you can create it, because otherwise you'd be painting blind. Okay. Yeah, I will. The final messages may or may not be related to the reading. The only reason why I say that is because the title card did come out last. And because that title card came out, it's like I just want to leave it here. I'm just going to leave it here. Because you're not going to know how it plays out. That's why the Angel of Shadow and the Angel of Purity and the Angel of the Deep came out yesterday. You're not going to know. There's no way to be sure. There's no way to be certain that you're not going to be hurt again. But honestly, in my own journey, in my own life, I can't afford to find out whether I can't afford to be closed off and isolated, only to find out that I missed my happiness. Like I've lived a life with enough regrets. I'm not doing it anymore. And if my feelings get hurt, or if I cry, or if I'm sad someday, then I'll just have some hurt feelings, and I'll be a sobbing, weeping mess for a day, a few days, a week, a month, whatever. But again, it's worth it to not have a life with so many regrets, to me at least. And I also know what's coming for me, so that also helps. Alright, so I'm gonna switch the camera to here. Oh girl, I'm all the way off. There we go. Hi. How did that happen? I guess I shifted. Oh yeah, because I got up to grab some cards. That's how. Hold up. Oh, okay. I see Justice. I see the Ruler of Coins. I see the Ace of Coins. I see the Eight of Wands. And the Three of Coins at the cut. Alright, I'll give this 4 shuffles. If nothing comes out, then we just end it. 2 more. Or this is 2. Right, that was 3. This is 1. Last one. The card that came out is the Three of Cups. The Three of Cups is interesting because on the spread on the spread that I pulled on my phone just to get the different meanings of the positions, the Three of Cups was the space of hopes and fears. This says the Three of Cups is a great card to get. It usually shows up when there is cause for celebration of abundance. The number 3 is the number 3 in numerologically is a magic number. It means peace, harmony, and completion. So this card may represent the completion of a project. The happiness you feel is lasting and will be shared by the community around you. So, I mean, for it to be shared in the community around you, there's an emphasis inherent and implicit of building a community around you. It's an energy of openness. It's also, because it's the Three of Cups, it's an energy of like true vulnerability. The Three of Cups holds nothing back, and everyone is celebrated not only despite their differences, but almost because of their differences. And they don't have to be different. but it's an acknowledgement and appreciation for the strength that it takes for one to be one's full self. Also, we see the two moons here that the high sage carries. The Three of Cups in the SKT shows the three priestesses who are all coming with their own vision. It speaks to hydromancy. And it's an Empress energy. Three Empresses. Bottom of the deck is the Hermit. I feel like this Hermit, again, it's an energy where it's like you can be in this community, you can be in this environment and still be you. The Hermit coming in here, it speaks to like deep levels of connection in this community. Could be soul family, honestly. Because it's that deep. It's that deep. Whoo! I feel like a release. I feel like just. I'm like, oh, that feels good. I it's always take it as it resonates. And more than take it as it resonates, do what you need to do to make what you want happen in your life. If you don't want to be miserable and full of regret anymore, then don't be. And I know it's not that simple, but eventually you reach the point where you find out that it kind of is. It kind of is as simple as just making a different choice. Right? You can make choices even though you're afraid. Fear factor. The challenge. People do it all the time. We do it all the time. It's like if we make choices out of fear, if we make choices out of fear that don't serve us, why not make choices out of fear that do? You know? You're still going to be afraid either way. But you'll allow the universe and spirit to prove to you how much you actually don't have to fear. Expand your vocabulary. That was 2. There we go. 3. That one came out face down too. 7 of Cups. There you go. 7 of Cups. What's at the bottom of the deck? The bottom of the deck is the 3 of Coins. With the rose, a single rose. A single pale rose. Is that a thing? I feel like there's 2 messages in this. And then the Ace of Swords is behind it. The Ace of Swords, the Ace of Swords clarifies the first one. I feel like with the 3 of Coins and the 7 of Cups, this is about realizing how you contribute to your own dissatisfaction. In the many ways in which you do, because it's 7 Cups, right? And I feel like once you begin to realize and recognize how you contribute to your own dissatisfaction, then it's like choose to see the wisdom and to change how you cooperate and collaborate your story to free that third eye. And I feel like freeing the third eye, because it feels like it's difficult, like you can see partially, but you'd see a lot more from that space of accountability. Because without that energy of self-accountability, you give other people more power than they actually have. You give other factors more of an influence than they actually had. And because of that, it's like you're making molehills into mountains. But the molehills are actually just like little bumps. I feel like it's like you'll realize how, I don't want to say insignificant a lot of stuff is, but it's like you'll realize how you conflated certain things. Let's define that word. Hey Siri, define conflate.
Conflate means combine 2 or more text, ideas, etc. into one.
Yeah. I feel like you conflated these things into something that it's like it never was. Like it didn't have that much power. Maybe it played on this fear, it played on that fear, it played on this insecurity, and it played on a few other things to make it as big as it was. But it's like through accountability, you'll see things more clearly, and you're like, oh wait, like that wasn't even like a thing. What? Like, and then it's like, wait, why am I afraid of this? Why am I still bound by this? Like I could just like I know now because I've lived life since whatever happened in the past, right? Five of Cups. There's the past, the inherent past energy. Like I know now that like this is either a non-issue or that's not true. And so there is a little bit of a need to almost slow down long enough to see it. Also, I forgot the Eight of Cups out. So we're going to shuffle this deck back up. So now that we've seen the light side, we come back and we readdress the dark side. Oh, that's the freed. It's the Eight of Cups. That's the freed third eye. And now because the third eye is free, it's like you're free to move on. Yeah. I ain't doing that weird Seven of Cups thing anymore. But the wisdom is the most important part. With that tooth down there mingling amongst the Six Cups and the paste. It's like something that's meant to inspire you, not to hurt you. But there's also an energy of projection, right? If your self-esteem, self-worth, self-love is low, then you'll be threatened by things instead of inspired by certain things. Or you'll take offense to things. Four. Bottom of the deck is the Nine of Coins, which isn't always great. But that's anything, right? Nothing is always great. Is this the Two of Swords and the Lovers? It's the Eight of Swords and the Lovers. So yeah, Nine of Coins, this isn't great. But this is coming after the realization. The Nine of Coins, it speaks to an energy of, it feels isolated. It feels like it has everything that it needs and it doesn't need anything from anybody else. And so it closes itself off from the world. And in doing that, it also closes itself off from love. With the Eight of Swords and the Lovers. But it isn't just romantic love. It's like it closes itself off from connection. It closes itself off from energies that... It's like a Three of Pentacles cooperative, collaborative energy that expands manyfold beyond of what any one energy is capable of. But with that Nine of Coins, it's like by not cooperating, by not collaborating, by being selfish or isolated in any way, you're like limiting yourself. What is this? I don't know. I'm rubbing circles on this Eight of Swords card. Why? Who knows? The Eight of Swords and the SKT is the angel, but she's tied. She's tied and she's bound. So it's like it keeps you from those higher vibrations, higher... I don't know why higher levels of commitment. But higher levels of commitment, it could be like marriage and stuff, but higher levels of commitment, it feels like commitment to higher potentialities and higher outcomes and higher everything. Again, it's an energy that it's what's the word? Jaded, it's scorned, it's bitter, its heart has turned cold. And that's something that we all work through. And we all discover. Maybe seek a therapist if you need it. Attachment. Accumulation, defensiveness, and scarcity. Number 2 just came out. Yeah, that's what that Nine of Swords, Nine of Pentacles, Eight of Swords, Lovers is. It was some kind of attachment. 35-8 is Sanctuary. Healing and comfort, faith and restoration. Healing and comfort, faith and restoration with attachment. Maybe you attached yourself to either mentally, emotionally, physically, or in a fiery way. Like it was a set desire. you attached to something that wasn't to your benefit. Oh, healing, faith, comfort, restoration. That's that Medea energy. Medea is being healed and restored, being set free from her past. Because it's like, the divine is like, we understand that, while you were wandering in the wilderness, you was a wild child. You did things that you would never do if you weren't in the situation to do it, if you weren't exposed to the stimuli that you were. And I know yesterday I was like, well, if opportunity makes a thief, then that person was always a thief. They just needed the right opportunity to be who they were. But at the same time, again, it's that humanizing factor that depending on what we believe, there are certain things that we do. There are certain things that we are validated in doing, I guess. Regardless of whether or not your Jiminy Cricket inside of you tells you, like, hey, that's wrong. Why would you do that? If you know how I feel, why would you say that? Yeah. There's still, Four of Swords in the Tower. It's time to let it fall. Let it fall, babies. Just let it go. Just let it go. And that one song by Solange Knowles, I think on the album, A Seat at the Table, I think that's the name of the album, just came to my mind. And it's the one that's like, why you always talking crap? Why you be complaining? Why you always gotta be so mad? And then she's like, I got a lot to be mad about. And while that is true, certain expressions of anger, again, it's like it perpetuates and propagates energies that nobody likes. And so let's channel that anger in a way that liberates us rather than in a way that keeps the circle turning, right? It's like, you did this for that long, now it's my turn to do it to you because that's fair, that's just. That's what the divine wants. The divine wants you to be all of your pain and all of your hurt. The divine wants you to have your turn to be not great, rather than just healing and moving on. Like, I was talking with my brother about this show that I'm glad I didn't watch because it's a lot more graphic than I like. But he was like, this character like remade the world, and he chose, like, he had a not great life, but he chose to retain his memories so he can get back at all the, like, he set back time or something like that. He chose to retain his memories so he could get revenge against all of the people that wronged him. And I'm like, if I could have did it, I would have just chose to forget and be happy, or like to remember but not to get vengeance or retribution. Like, if I had a chance to do it over again, I wouldn't go and relive the same trauma. Like, hello? No. I'd set myself on something like better. Like, why would I need to do that? Right? I'm not trying to continue to propagate cycles. Hello? I want to be happy. I want to be happy. The King of Pentacles and the Knight of Pentacles at the cut. The Knight of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles is established. The Conqueror of Coins actually came out earlier, didn't it? Well, I saw it when I was flipping through the cards. That's that Knight of Coins energy. Knight of Coins into the King of Coins. That's, as we continue to hone this, again, it's like we're going to be in a position to nurture to ourselves in a sufficient enough quality and quantity, I guess, that it's like we shape the world around us rather than us. It's like we're going to be changing our level of commitment, changing our level of contribution. And when we contribute more, we have more of a say in how things play out, right? But it's not that any of that accounting like disappears. It just happens more in an internal sense. Now it's like internally balanced rather than externally balanced, right? And because it's internally balanced, it is more not rigid, but rigid is the word I want for some reason. It's more rigid in the external. It's more weather-proof, environment-proof. It's like earthquake-proof, flood-proof, fire-proof, everything-proof. Until, but depending on how comfortable we get there, if we reach a point of stagnancy, then we're going to welcome a tower that shakes us into continuing to move forward. Okay. 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, okay. So we got the Fool card and the Ace of Pentacles flipped over. Let me find it. Let me find it. There it is. The Fool and the Ace of Pentacles. This is a brand new beginning. This is a brand new lease on life. This is that new world. This is the opportunity to do it different, to do it all over again. And the bottom of the deck is the King of Pentacles. I love it. Look how happy he is. Goodness. I've never done this before, but we're doing it today, girl. This deck comes in 2 boxes, so I'm splitting them. Usually I go like, I cut it roughly in half and then I stand them next to each other and then I slide the cards, or I try to slide them from one to the other, and if they don't slide, then I assume they're even. But now I'm just going to shuffle them out one by one to each side to make sure. It's a lot more meticulous, but it requires less going back and forth. Boom. Ooh, 8 of Cups. That's a card that we've seen. So the 8 of Cups is going to be the bottom of the deck for the Ace of Coins. Or the bottom of this half of the deck. Yeah, it's like leaving all of the hurt, pain, trauma, everything, like disappointments in that old world, and it's seeking a new one. And if your emotions are stuck there, then you're going to get more of it, because again, Pentacles rely on what you give them. And if you give them Pentacles stale old water that is ain't got whatever it need in it, then you get, the plant will basically look like it's not watered. And you'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm watering the plant. Like, why does it look like it's not getting enough water? The 2 of Pentacles is here with the Fool. I love this 2 of Pentacles, though, because it's like, I throw my hands up in the air sometimes type of energy. Like, in the past, I had to juggle this. In the past, I had to balance this. In the past, I had to make a choice because the world was what the world was and because I believed what I believed. But now I know that I don't have to do that, and so I'm chucking these. I'm going to get that ace that I want. And I'm not going to have to sacrifice anything that I don't. And again, it's not that I'm not going to be challenged, but I'm going to have the strength to continue to grow and to face any challenges. It's the Fool that's like, I don't have to do that. People will talk to the Fool, oh, like, well, you got to do this and you got to do that. And if this isn't profitable or lucrative, then quit it and blah, 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 whatever. And the Fool's like, okay, that's cool. It didn't work for you. You're a little sad, a little bitter, a little upset, but I'm not you. And who's to say that it won't work out for me? And maybe, just maybe, if you can support me instead of hating on me, you'll be inspired rather than threatened. And you'll do what you could have done a long time ago had you had the trust and hope and faith and belief in you that you needed. Had you loved yourself enough to really put yourself out there. But sometimes we need somebody to show us that it can be done. And I don't mind being that person. So watch on. Or not. Alright, that's what I got. I hope you have a good whatever whenever you see this. I hope you're acting in alignment to make all that you wish to experience your reality, because, you know, it's never been more possible. But it's almost at the same time never required more. But in requiring more, it's like it almost requires less. It requires a lot less than what we do to try to maintain a semblance of stability or happiness or peace or a facade of joy in a world where it can be difficult to get it. And, you know, you can find almost anything if you look hard enough, but we're coming into a time where it's so, like, palpable that, like, you can taste it in the air. And I feel like a lot of people, more and more people are feeling it. But at the same time, I feel like they're also giving into the despair of what the world has become. It's like, I feel this, but at the same time, it's like, oh, you know, nothing ain't gonna, like, we gonna be in this forever, or things will never be the same, or blah, 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 whatever. Again, it's that 5 of Cups with that 2 of Pentacles. It's the balancing and the juggling of, like, hope and fear, and when hope becomes fear, when we're afraid to hope for better, and so even our hopes become tainted. And it makes things all energetically, like a staticky and like a scribble. right? If you scribble out your order, then the cook isn't gonna know how to read it. And they're like, I guessed. It's like, I could have gave you nothing, but I just guessed. It's like, okay, let's be a little bit more clear, a little bit more intent. But again, that's something that develops as we learn and go and grow. So, bye. This is Amelie. Go see the movie. Ooh, excuse me. Excuse me. If you want to. I think you can get a Paramount Plus trial and watch it on there. That's what I did. I need to cancel it because I'm not interested in maintaining the subscription. Bye. Bye.